Hey guys, it's Bobi aka Paginator, and we're here today to do the TBR bingo game for the month of August. Let's start with the dice roll. Alright, we have to get 10 or higher. 8, we have to roll again. 17. Oh boy. So August is my last summer month, my last month of freedom. I don't even get the whole month, but 17 is our number. Everybody pray for me. Now, surely we're gonna get a bingo this time. Let's take a look at the bingo board. All right, as per usual, you cannot see the BINGO, but you can see the numbers. And we've got several possible bingos here. If we get a bingo, you guys get a privilege, and if we get 2 bingos, then I also get one as well. All right, first roll. I dropped the ball on the floor. Of course I did. First roll we have is B1. Read a Kindle book. Okay, so our first roll got us B1, a Kindle book, and I've got quite a few on my Kindle that I've been like approved for NetGalley and different things, so I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and scrolled, and I found one that I want to read. The Forest Grimm by Catherine Purdy. So I'm going to read what Goodreads says about this. The Midnight Forest, the Fanged Creature. 2 fortune-telling cards that spell an untimely death for 17-year-old Clara. Despite the ever-present warning from her fortune-teller grandmother, Clara embarks on a dangerous journey into the deadly Forest Grimm to procure a magical book, Sortes Fortunae, the Book of Fortunes, with power to reverse a curse on her village and save her mother. Years ago, when the villagers whispered their deepest desires to the book, its pages revealed how to obtain them. All was well until someone used the book for an evil purpose, to kill another person. Afterward, the branches of the Forest Grimm snatched the book away. The well water in Grimm's Hollow turned rancid, and the crops died from disease. The villagers tried to make amends with the forest, but every time someone crossed its border, they never returned. Now left with no alternative, Clara and her close friend Axel, who's fated never to be with her, have set their minds to defying fate and daring to accomplish what no one else has been able to before. But the forest, alive with dark, deadly twists on some of our most well-known fairy tales, has a mind of its own. Roll number 2. I-19. Here it is on the board. Ooh, that means we're 1 away from a bingo going right across the center here. Special edition. I-19 is special edition. Roll number 2 got us I-19, a special edition. And we are going to go with Shielded by Kaylin Flanders. I also need a book with the word shield or shield, something like that, in the title for G's Aurelium Academy. For Autumn Equinox, I have 5 prompts that I have to read for my career, and so this is going to be for my Q level in inscription for awards and shields. So this is a special edition that came from Fairy Loot, I think. Yes, Fairy Loot. It has black sprayed edges, a signed stipend, some, I'm not sure what else. It came with a card in a subscription box ages ago. And here's what this says. The kingdom of Halendi is in trouble. It's losing the war at its borders, and rumors of a new, deadlier threat have surfaced. Princess Janisara knows her skills on the battlefield would make her an asset and wants to help, but her father has other plans. Second-born heir to the throne, Jenna lacks the firstborn's, her older brother's magical abilities, so the king promises her hand in marriage to the prince of neighboring Turia in exchange for resources Halendi needs. Jenna has no choice. She must leave behind everything she's ever known if she's to give her people a chance at peace. On the journey to reach her betrothed in her new home, the royal caravan is ambushed, and Jenna realizes the rumors were wrong. The new threat is worse than anyone imagined. Now Jenna must decide if revealing a dangerous secret is worth the cost before it's too late for her and her entire kingdom. Just as a reminder, if we get a number that ends in the digit 5, that will add a bonus roll. Now that I've said that, I've probably jinxed myself. Roll number 3, N34. N34 is disability representation. Roll number 3, N34, disability representation. This one, we're going to go with Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. I've never read anything by her, but I've heard good things. This features a character who has OCD. So we have Bradley and Celine. Bradley Graham is pretty much perfect. He's a star football player, manages his OCD well enough, and comes out on top in all his classes except the ones he shares with Celine Bangura. They used to be best friends until Brad decided he was too cool for the conspiracy theory-obsessed Celine and literally abandoned her for the popular kids table. At least that's how Celine sees it. These days, Brad hates her guts and the feeling is mutual. So when Celine signs up for a 2-part survival course in the woods, she definitely doesn't expect to find Brad right beside her. Forced to work together for the chance to win the grand prize, Celine and Bradley must trudge through not just mud and dirt, but their messy past. As this adventure brings them closer, they start to remember all the good parts of their history, but has too much time passed or just enough to spark a whole new kind of relationship? Roll number 4. G51. G51 is male author. Roll number 4, G51, a male author, and we're going to go with Once There Was by Kiash Monsef. I probably said that wrong. This is a middle grade book, and it says, once was, once wasn't. So began the stories Marjan's father told her as a little girl, like the tale of the girl who sprung a unicorn from a hunter's snare, or the nomad boy who rescued a baby shirtle. Legends of mythical beasts that filled her with curiosity and wonder. But Marjan's not a little girl anymore. In the wake of her father's sudden death, she's trying to hold it all together. Her schoolwork, friendships, and keeping her dad's shoestring veterinary practice from going under. Then one day she receives a visitor who reveals something stunning. Marjan's father was no ordinary veterinarian. The creatures out of the stories he told her were real, and he traveled the world to care for them. And now that he's gone, she must take his place. Marjan steps into a secret world hidden in plain sight where magical creatures are bought and sold, treasured and trapped. She finds friends she never knew she needed, a charming British boy who grew up with a griffin, a runaway witch seeking magic and community while trying to hide her double life from her old friends and classmates. The deeper Marjan gets into treating these animals, the closer she comes to finding who killed her father and to a shocking truth that will reawaken her sense of wonder and put humans and beasts in terrible danger. Roll number 5. G50. G50 is favorite author. Roll 5 is G50, favorite author. Now, my genuine favorite author of all time is Jane Austen, and I'd love to reread one of her books, but I have a massive list of books that I have never read before, so I thought I'm going to go to one of my other top favorite authors, the more modern authors, and just so happens that Aaron A. Craig has a new book out. I wasn't supposed to buy any books for myself in the month of July, but I let myself buy this one because it's Aaron A. Craig. I've never read anything by her that wasn't phenomenal. This is book 2 in the Salt Sister series. So we first had House of Salt and Sorrows, and now we've got House of Roots and Ruin. So this is going to be dealing mostly with Verity from that world, but Camille is there. Since it's a sequel, usually what I do is talk about the first book in the series. So I pulled up the description of House of Salt and Sorrows. My copy of it is in my classroom, so I can't hold it up for you. But here is the description of the first book. In a manor by the sea, 12 sisters are cursed. Annalie lives a sheltered life at Highmoor, a manor by the sea, with her sisters, their father, and stepmother. Once they were 12, but loneliness fills the grand halls now that 4 of the girls' lives have been cut short. Each death was more tragic than the last. The plague, a plummeting fall, a drowning, a slippery plunge, and there are whispers throughout the surrounding villages that the family is cursed by the gods. Disturbed by a series of ghostly visions, Annalie becomes increasingly suspicious that the deaths were no accident. Her sisters have been sneaking out every night to attend glittering balls, dancing until dawn in silk gowns and shimmering slippers. And Annalie isn't sure whether to try to stop them or to join their forbidden trysts, because who or what are they really dancing with? When Annalie's involvement with the mysterious stranger who has secrets of his own intensifies, it's a race to unravel the darkness that's fallen over her family before it claims her next. Alright, so then back to this one. As I said, we're dealing mostly with Verity, and I'm just going to skim here and see if there's anything I feel like I can tell you. She's 18. She has remained at her family's estate Highmoor with her older sister Camille. And I don't think I better share anything else. But I mean, look at this cover. It's so pretty. Roll number 6. 064. Here's another one on the board right over here. A book with representation. Rule number 6 was 064, a book with representation. Now, I could have put lots of different kinds of representation, but I chose this one because I got it for my middle schoolers to read, and I brought it home with me during the summer, and I haven't gotten to it yet, and school's gonna be starting again soon, so I want to read this. This is The Civil War of Amos Abernathy. It is a middle grade book. It's by Michael Lealy, and it has LGBT plus representation. Amos Abernathy lives for history, literally. He's been volunteering at the Chicory County Living History Park as a historical reenactor almost since he was old enough to walk. Enter Ben, the park's newest, and if you ask Amos, cutest volunteer. Ben doesn't think Amos is half bad either, but he's still figuring out who he is and what those feelings might mean. Ben's arrival turns Amos's world upside down, and for the first time he wonders if there's something missing at the LHP. Someone like them. Amos is sure there were LGBTQ plus people in the 19th century, he just needs to find them. That's how he learns about Albert D.J. Cashier, a Union soldier from the Civil War who might have identified as a trans man if he'd lived today. Soon Amos starts to confide in Albert by writing letters in his journal. And when LHP needs ideas for a new exhibit, Amos hatches a plan to share Albert's story with his divided 21st century town. It may be an uphill battle, but it's one that Amos is ready to fight. Rule number 7. O65. So I've gotten this one before. O65 is Goodreads winner or nominee, and there's a skull there, so you have to add another spin. O65, a Goodreads winner or nominee. So I typed into Google Goodreads, I typed in list of Goodreads award nominees, and it came up with this link for a list, and the very first book on the list was one that I've been meaning to read for ages, which is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I know. So you all probably know what this is about, but I'm going to see what I can find out. The edition of this book doesn't have like a summary on the back, so I guess I'm gonna have to pull it up on Goodreads. Hold on a moment, please. Okay, we found one. It says, around the world, black handprints are appearing on doorways, scorched there by winged strangers who have crept through a slit in the sky. In a dark and dusty shop, a devil's supply of human teeth grown dangerously low. And in the tangled lanes of Prague, a young art student is about to be caught up in a brutal, otherworldly war. Meet Carew. She fills her sketchbooks with monsters that may or may not be real. She's prone to disappearing on mysterious errands. She speaks many languages, not all of them human, and her bright blue hair actually grows out of her head that color. Who is she? I want bright blue hair to grow out of my head. I've wanted to have bright blue hair for the longest time. And my hair is so dark that it won't, unless I bleach it, it won't take color. I got that overtone stuff, like the color for brown hair, and I got it in purple because school's about to start and I have to have a purple for school if I'm going to do any color. Look, you can't even tell. Nothing. Anyway. Back to this girl. When one of the strangers, beautiful, haunted Akiva, fixes his fire-colored eyes on her, meaning Carew, in an alley in Marrakesh, the result is blood and starlight, secrets unveiled, and star-crossed love whose roots drink deep of a violent past. But will Carew live to regret learning the truth about herself? This sounds very interesting. Rule number 8. G49. Here's another one from the board. POC author. POC author. G49 POC author. We're going with Hunting by Stars by Sherry D. Moline. This is the sequel to The Marrow Thieves. So once again, I'm going to read the synopsis of the first one and not the second one. This is a dystopian series. Really, really enjoyed the first one. So, in The Marrow Thieves, it says, in a futuristic world ravaged by global warming, people have lost the ability to dream, and the dreamlessness has led to a widespread madness. The only people still able to dream are North America's indigenous people, and it's their marrow that holds the cure for the rest of the world. But getting the marrow and dreams means death for the unwilling donors. Driven to flight, a 15-year-old and his companions struggle for survival, attempt to reunite with loved ones, and take refuge from the recruiters who seek them out to bring them to the marrow-stealing factories. I really, really enjoyed this first one. It was well written, and so I immediately went to look and see if there was a sequel after I'd finished the first one, and sure enough, there was. She wasn't originally going to write a sequel, but so many Indigenous kids wrote to her and said, please, please, please write another book in this series, so she did. So, yay. Rule number 9. I-23. A paranormal book. Roll number 9, I-23, a paranormal book. This one also covers another one of the prompts for G. I need something with an animal / pet on the cover. So we're going to go with The Buried and the Bound. This has a wolf, which is kind of pushing the pet a little bit, but some people keep wolves as pets, I'm sure, like in Alaska or something. And in certain movies or other books, I don't know. I'm stretching it a little bit to make it work. I'm sorry. Okay, let's read about this. As the only hedge witch in Blackthorn, Massachusetts, an uncommonly magical place, Aziza El Amin has bargained with wood nymphs, rescued palm-sized fairies from house cats, and banished flesh-eating shadows from the local park. But when a dark entity awaits in the forest outside of town, eroding the boundary between the human world and fairyland, run-of-the-mill fae mischief turns into outright aggression, and the danger to herself and others becomes too great for Aziza to handle alone. Leo Merritt is no stranger to magical catastrophes. He's in love with someone he doesn't remember, thanks to a curse that kicked in on his 16th birthday and ripped away the memories of his true love. A miserable year has passed since then. Desperate for answers, he makes a pact with Aziza. He'll provide much-needed backup on her nightly patrols, and in exchange, she'll help him break the curse. But when the creature in the woods sets its sights on them, their survival depends on the aid of a mysterious young necromancer they're not certain they can trust. They'll have to work together to eradicate the new threat and take back their hometown, even as it forces them to uncover long-buried secrets and make some devastating sacrifices. Roll number 10. G54. A shiny cover. G54, a shiny cover. We're going to go with Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton. Fairy Loot edition. So you might remember this one from my recent Fairy Loot unboxing. I have another one coming up soon. Yay. Alright, but this one, Sorsha Sarkova survives on secrets. That's a very good alliteration. As the last siren in her kingdom, she can sing any man to an early grave, but her very existence is illegal, and if her true identity were ever discovered, it would be her life on the line. By day, Sorsha disguises herself as Fae, pretending to be the perfect soldier in training. By night, she satisfies her darker urges working as an assassin for dangerous mercenaries, and all the while, she keeps the biggest secret of all, that she is not always in control of her siren powers or her desire to kill. Then a blackmailer threatens her sister, and Sorsha's investigation takes her to the royal palace, and her most dangerous job yet, personal bodyguard to the crown prince. Sorsha expects to despise Prince Hayes, but he is kind, thoughtful, and charming, and she finds herself increasingly drawn to him until he tasks her with investigating a killer plaguing the kingdom. The problem? The killer is Sorsha. Trapped by her deadly double life, Sorsha can't leave the palace until she saves her sister, but who will save her from herself? Roll 11. N36. NetGalley. Roll number 11, we got N36 NetGalley. And I have found one in my NetGalley app that's an audiobook, so it's advanced listener copy. And this is by the glorious Shelby Mahurin. And you might know her from the Serpent and Dove series. This is the first book in a new series, and it is called The Scarlet Veil. There is just a very short synopsis. Hear what it says. 6 months have passed since Celie took her sacred vows and joined the ranks of the chasseurs as their first huntswoman. So we have chasseurs again. With her fiancé, Jean-Luc, as captain, she is determined to find her foothold in her new role and help protect Belterra. But whispers from her past still haunt her, and a new evil is rising, one that Celie herself must vanquish, unless she falls prey to the darkness. I'm getting flashbacks from Serpent and Dove and thinking about Lou and Reed and like, oh my gosh. Do I want to reread it? No, there's no time. There's no time. Roll number 12. I-16. That is a book that you have started but quit. Rule number 12 is I-16, a book that you started but quit. This is also going to double as a prompt for G, which is a book for your end of the year TBR. By the end of the year, I wanted to finish this trilogy. So the book that I started but quit is God's Grave by J. Kristoff. I read the first one a long time ago, which was Nevernight, and I need to read books 2 and 3. So, you know the rules. It's book 2, so we're going to read the back of book 1, which is Nevernight. In a world where the sun almost never sets, a woman gains entry into a school of infamous assassins, seeking vengeance against the powers that destroy her family. Daughter of an executed traitor, Mia Corvair is barely able to escape her father's failed rebellion with her life. Alone and friendless, she wanders in a city built from the bones of a dead god, hunted by the Senate and its thugs. But her gift for speaking with the shadows leads her to the hearth of a retired killer and a future she never imagined. Now Mia is apprenticed to the deadliest flock of assassins in the entire Republic, the Red Church. Deadly trials await her within the church's halls, blades and poisons, treachery and death. If she survives to initiation, she'll be inducted among the chosen of the Lady of Blessed Murder and be one step closer to the only thing she desires: revenge. This book, this series is dark. It's bloody. It's violent. Just warning you. But I also really, really love the first one. Roll number 13. N33. Oh, it spit out 2 balls, so we'll just use this one for the next roll. N33 is a past Sharkathon prompt. Hi guys, it's Editing Bobi here. I have lost all of the books that I picked out, like reading the synopsis and stuff from this point to the end of the video, drawing out of the cabbage pot, everything. I want to cry. I'm really stressed out. I need to like be done editing videos in the next half hour or so, like because of my schedule. I'm really, really stressed out. So instead of refilming this for each one of these, I'm going to put up a picture of the book and do like a title and author thing, but I'm not going to go back and refilm reading the whole synopsis. I might put a couple little notes of like, this is what it's about. And I'm going to beg your forgiveness for having to do this time. I am really sorry, and I'll try to make sure that doesn't happen again. It's just with the way that the rest of my day and week is scheduled, I don't have time to refilm. So I'm really, really sorry. Thank you so much for your patience and support, and let's get back to the books and stuff. For roll 14, I'm just grabbing the second ball that the game spit out, and it is G56. Okay, we've got another one up on the board here. This is a random prompt, so I will have to find some kind of random prompt generator or something. Roll number 15, B7. Another one down here. Oh, look, we've got a bingo. We got a diagonal bingo. Woohoo! B7 is to read a middle grade. Roll 16. O70. O70 is FOMO. Roll 17. I-17. Another one on the board. Cabbage pot. Oh, I haven't seen the cabbage pot in such a long time. Last roll. I-20. I-20 is a 2022 release.